Hello guys, welcome to this video. By the time you watching this video, you're probably gonna be progressing towards AR40 or just alive at AR40. If you got Klee, Diluc or Shangling, you probably want to do the Domain of Blazing Frost to get the Crimson Wish artifacts to boost your pyro damage. In this video, I will be talking about the characters that you should use or avoid in the Domain of Blazing Frost because you will get a buff and debuff for certain elements. At Fatui, when you deal superconduct damage, you will deal extra damage to enemies, but when you deal overload, you will take damage for yourself. This damage that you take for yourself is around 20% of your max HP, so make sure you have healers in your team if you're using pyro DPS. Now let's talk about the characters. First of all, Amber, just avoid her, not because she's a terrible character, but if you use her, you're probably gonna be spamming Q or charge shot, and you will be dealing damage to yourself a lot. So just avoid her in general. Next is Barbara. She's an excellent healer. She got really large healing output, but you won't be dealing extra damage to the enemies because Electro charge deals electro damage, which the lightning slimes is immune against it. Next is Beidou. Beidou again, her E deals a lot of damage, but lightning slimes immune against electro damage. Bennett, he's support, a pyro support. I don't really recommend pyro support. The pyro characters that I recommend in this domains is probably gonna be only Diluc or Shangling. So you can try to use him, but you will be put in like bad situation if you don't have healers again. Next is Xiangyun. Xiangyun is really good in this domain. He deals pyro damage, he will deal superconducts, and yeah, he can buff your team to deal pyro damage for more damage. And that is really good. He also great sword usage, so he can stagger them a bit. He will be like a top tier in this domain. Next is Diluc. Diluc deal a shit ton of damage, but you will receive shit ton of damage as well. So if you're using Diluc in this domain, make sure you have like 2 healers in the team to help you sustain the damage you take. Like so you're gonna be seeing your health bar like gonna be go up, go down like every seconds if you use Diluc. Next is Facial. When you add Constellation 1, you deal extra physical damage to enemies when you don't have odds in the field. So in the domain, you will be like spamming left click all time to deal damage instead of your electro damage. Jean is a good healer. She can deal a lot of damage as well. She is a Amino, so she will reduce the enemy resistance if you place your skill at the correct times to reduce cryo resistance or hydro resistance for your team to deal more damage. Kea is a good choice, but not a lot of people build him. He most likely gonna build like a support to like get your Q up like all the time, so you can deal the damage a lot from the superconduct. Caching, I see a few in this domain. Most of the time, I see people build her as physical damage, so she's gonna like not using her E very often and her Q because the lightning slimes again. Klee, I think she's a bit terrible in this floor because she's a mage, a fire mage, which you will deal pyro damage all the time. You don't have a gap to like sustain like the look where you deal physical damage and then pyro again and then physical again. Klee gonna be like taking damage every second you attack, so don't use Klee. Next is Lisa. Lisa is Electro Mage, so don't use her. She won't do any damage against slimes. Mona. Mona is a good choice as well, a decent choice. She's like opener for your team because she will make the enemies take more damage with her ult and taunt enemy with her E. Nengong is a good choice. She's got no advantage or disadvantage in this floor, so you can use her She's really good. She can provide shields as well. The Electro shield from attacking slimes. Her output damage is really high. She can deal a lot of damage. Noel is also a good choice. You can heal your team as well. You don't have any disadvantage or advantage to the enemy because of geo elements. Shishi is an excellent healer in this domain. You can deal a lot of damage with debuff, and you can heal your team a lot. So she is also a priority next to Chongyun. Next is Razor. He's my favorite when I can't use Diluc or Venti because he deals a lot of physical damage, as well as he get the buff at the attack speed buff when you use his Q and electro resistance. So he's a decent choice, but you won't be dealing any damage to the enemy with your E and your Q. You will just get the attack speed from the Q and that's it. You will be spamming left click all the times in this domain. I would really recommend him if you don't want to use the look like to risk your team getting wiped. Next is Sucrose. Sucrose, I don't really see her a lot because people use Venti or Jean for the amino characters. So she's also a good choice because you can boost your team damage with the elemental mastery, but she won't be versatile as them because Jean can heal Venti can group enemy better. Next is Taro Anemo. Just like Sucrose or any Anemo characters, he can pull enemy, but his Q will also pull enemy as well, but will launch them into like the air, whereas the other character can't hit with claymore or sword. So I don't really recommend the Taro as Anemo, but as Geo, I really recommend him because you can buff your team, you can deal a lot of damage, you can get shield, but be careful when you use your E because you can knock the enemy up to the high ground and you can't hit them. Next is Venti. He's a good character. Everyone knows he's good. He can pull enemy, group enemy in wave 1, 2 and 3, but I don't really recommend use his ult in the 4th round, the Fatui Mage, because other players in your team won't be able to hit the Mage in the air if you use your ult. So try to like practice him, so his ult will be like very good in round 1, 2 and 3. Next is Xiangling. Xiangling, I don't really recommend her. Diluc will do a better job. Xiangling E and her Q is like a summon, right? So you deal like constant pyro damage, not like Diluc where you just deal one time and yeah, you just go on with physical damage or other abilities. Xiangling, you will receive the damage a lot, like every tick that go by attack or your ult hit enemies, so you have potential to die before Diluc. Next is Xingqiu. Again, Hydro character, you won't be dealing extra damage from your electro charge. A lot of people don't build him because you can just leave him at level 1 and just press E or press Q for a debuff. So if you build him, he's decent damage dealer, as is better than Barbara if you don't need heal. So yeah, I think that's it for this video, guys. If you have a question about this domain, I will try to answer it in the comment sections. Thank you for watching this video.